Hey, what's going on, guys? DK back at you with another video here to break down the 3-game NBA main slate on Saturday. Wish the NBA had some better scheduling. We've gone from like 13 to 1 to 12 to now 3-game slates, but hey, it is what it is. What can you do, right? If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make content for daily fantasy sports prize picks and for NBA Top Shot. If you guys are unable to watch the YouTube videos, also upload an Apple Podcast. Link is down below. It is called the DK DFS Show. Premium content, if you want more in-depth content for daily fantasy sports, where I offer player pools, roster construction videos for the main and showdown slate, cash GPP plays, if-then statements, as well as, most importantly, the private Patreon live stream before lock. You can check out the packages also linked down below. And the sponsor of this video, guys, as we mentioned, Prize Picks, which is a player prop site. They have every single sport you can think of. It's really fun. You can mix and match sports. Basically how it works, you can pick up to 2 to 5 player props and you win up to 10 extra money. So you can use my code DKDFS for a 100% match up to $100. That is a free $100 to play with on the site if you use my code and deposit $100. Okay, so really quick, let's take a look at my lineup here from tonight. So the Utah game blowing out with like half the roster out was pretty tilting, not going to lie. Conley shot like 2 of 15, plus the blowout, didn't touch the court in the fourth quarter. I was really high on the Utah guys. I was hammering that home. I really liked all the guards, Conley, Clarkson, and IW, as well as Gobert. It's just, got unlucky, right? The game randomly blew out and Conley shot really awful. So, what can you do? If he plays that fourth quarter, he's having a really solid game, but it is what it is. Herder went to the locker room, missed a good chunk of time, of course. I faded a chalk the line right, even though I had him as a core play, just because I wanted to get contrarian with kind of that late game stack of Boston and Sacramento. It blew out, but yeah, I had Tatum, Brown with a low on Sabonis, who absolutely went off with no De'Aaron Fox. David Mitchell, expected a little bit more from him, to be honest. Only 18.75 with doing all the ball handling. Honestly, feel like got a little bit unlucky that performance. Should have had at least, in my opinion, 25 to 30. And then Goga Batadze was an absolute smash at 50% ownership. So that is a look back there, guys. 3 games. Second, we'll start on the Dallas side. Really, really good matchup here. Luka Doncic makes for the best spend up at the very top. Again, Charlotte's one of the teams we love attacking, so don't spend a ton of time on Luka. I think he looks great. Reggie Bullock's missed the last couple games due to a personal matter. We'll have to keep an eye on that. If he can't go, you should get Dinwiddie in the starting lineup. Spencer Dinwiddie at 6'7", and he's probably going to play mid-30s minutes if it's in Reggie Bullock. I think he's just more of like a neutral play to me. Jalen Brunson's taking a pretty big hit usage-wise. He's still playing like low to mid-30s minutes, but again, he's kind of taking a backseat. Both these secondary guards are kind of just secondary plays. So I'm not going to prioritize either Dinwiddie or Brunson, but if you land on one of those guys, last piece in, I think it's totally fine. I will say Dorian Finney-Smith feels a little bit too pricey here at 5.5K. Dwight Powell at 4.6. I mean, we probably get somewhere around 25 to 30 minutes from him, which I think makes him a fair value play. Kleba got in massive foul trouble last game, so he only played 19 minutes. But I think, there's a chance for him to play mid-20s minutes in this game, so I think he's an interesting buy low candidate there. Don't really know if I consider anyone else. I mean, Josh Green will be in the rotation at 4K, but it's probably going to be better value on the slate. Bertans is barely playing, so I think that's going to wrap it up for Dallas. On the Charlotte side, so you kind of know the drill by now with Charlotte. Like, one of these big three is probably going to have a big game with LaMelo, Rozier, Bridges. Good luck trying to figure out which one's going to be. LaMelo finally played normal minutes. He played 36 minutes, and he absolutely crushed. Like, I don't know why they've been playing him 28 to 30 minutes. I know there's been a couple blowouts, but still, there's been a few games that have just really limited his minutes, and I have no idea why. It's just idiotic coaching. But assuming if LaMelo plays like 35-plus minutes, I think he's way too cheap at 8.8K. The only issue is, will he get trolled with his minutes? Now, Rozier, Bridges, these are 2 guys that have a ceiling as well. With these guys, so they have a little bit of a lower floor. Like Rozier, he's got 50-plus ceiling. He can also go for sub-30, right? And kind of same thing with Miles Bridges, right? Last time I played Miles Bridges, I think he went for like 20 fancy points. But he can also go for 50-plus as well. So, like, all 3 of the main Charlotte guys have a ceiling. I'll say LaMelo, assuming he gets the minutes, is probably your safest bet, though. Scrolling down to like the bigs, PJ Washington at 5'2". I mean, Minutes-wise, it's kind of been up and down for him. I would think he plays close to 30 minutes, which makes him just a fair play. The bigs in Harrell and Plumlee, and their minutes not necessarily secure, but Plumlee's played relatively well of late. Again, Harrell 4-5, we know is a good point per minute guy, but the minutes haven't been amazing on him. So, like, I think both the bigs are just fair plays in Plumlee and in Harrell. The rest of the Hornets, the minutes in Kelly Oubre have been trending way down, sub 20 now the last 4 games. The price has also come down, but I don't know if it's come down enough. He's only going to play about 15 minutes a game. Isaiah Thomas has been out of the rotation last couple games, and then Cody Martin at 3-6. Not going to be a super high usage player, but probably plays around 20 minutes or so. I think that's it for the Hornets. Let's move on to Detroit and Cleveland. So how about that Saddiq Bey game last game? So you had Cade Cunningham miss, and then you had Killian Hayes got injured early on. So Saddiq Bey went absolutely off, went for 51 real-life points, 78 fantasy points. So if Cade Cunningham is out, obviously Saddiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, these are 2 guys that get a usage bump. I would prefer Bey. He'd probably get way more ownership, though, after that last game. And then Corey Joseph, if both those guards are out, he's probably starting and playing low 30s minutes, probably doing a lot of the ball handling, had 7 assists last game. And then you can make the argument for a guy like Saben Lee at 3-4. Again, assuming both those guards miss, played 21 minutes last game. So that's going to be pretty significant news there. As far as the bigs go, Bagley, Stewart, both fine options. Bagley played a little bit more last game just because they're pretty short-handed. Not sure if he plays 32 minutes again, but with Marvin Bagley, right, he's going to be relatively productive when he's on the court. And then Isaiah Stewart at 4-8. I mean, if he can stay out of foul trouble, I like the price point for him. The only issue is, can he stay out of foul trouble, right? Because this is another guy that's just always in foul trouble. Livers will be in the rotation at 3.3K. If a couple, both those guards miss, I guess he's playable. Now, if Cade Cunningham plays and he's good to go, no limitations, I mean, he's been playing huge minutes, right? He's been averaging like 40 minutes a game over the last 4 games. So if Cade Cunningham plays, even though it's a tougher spot, I think I'm okay going to him. And then obviously it would downgrade, the rest of the Pistons if he ends up playing. On the Cleveland side, so game went to overtime tonight. Darius Garland at 9-1 should play close to 40 minutes. Great matchup. So I think he's a pretty safe player there at the top. Evan Mobley going to play a lot at the 5. He should play mid-30s minutes. Again, I like the matchups. The 2 main guys here for Cleveland I think look pretty good. LeVert feels a little bit pricey at 6'6". I mean, he'll probably play mid-20s minutes on the bench, but don't think I can go to him in that price point. Kevin Love, you can always take a shot on him in tournaments. He did play 31 minutes tonight against Denver, but he could very easily play like 15 minutes and would not be surprised. So, with Love, never really cash game play, more of a tournament-only option. You saw Lauri Markkanen went absolutely off tonight, went for 60 fantasy points. Definitely an outlier, but he's also playing huge minutes right now. So I think he's a relatively safe play. And do not expect 60. More often than not, he's probably going to get you around 30 fantasy points. But because of the minutes, I think he's a pretty safe option. And then don't know if I get to anyone else. Like the minutes on Shetty, didn't even play tonight, which was a little bit surprising. Isaac Okoro, I mean, he's going to play huge minutes, but he's not going to be super productive. If not a lot of other value opens up, then I guess he's fine. But, again, he's not going to be a very productive player when he's on the court. So, let's finish up here with the Lakers and the Wizards. The Lakers are I was so shocked about their line. They started 2 centers today. They started Wenyen Gabriel, who's technically a center, at the 3. I was just like, what are the Lakers doing? Melo and THT both missed the game tonight. We'll see if they're available for the game tomorrow. But yeah, LeBron James, game went to overtime, and he had a solid game. This is a really good matchup. So, assuming he plays, I think he's a pretty good play just because the matchup. And obviously no AD, possibly no Melo and THT as well. Westbrook actually did have a solid game at 8.7K. He's fine. It's a revenge game narrative. Obviously, he has not been great this season. Malik Monk was surprisingly pretty bad as well. Played 30 minutes, only went for 13 fantasy points. So it really did surprise me with all those players out for the Lakers. I thought, okay, Malik Monk's going to be the clear number 2. And he really struggled. Now, if Melo and THT both miss, unfortunately, we're going to have to consider some of these other secondary plays. I don't want to. It makes me want to absolutely go throw up right now. But, we have to look at these guys. Dwight Howard, he's a pretty solid point per minute guy. Played 24 minutes last game. If he starts again, sure, he's definitely viable. Wenyen Gabriel went to the locker room, returned, played 25 minutes, went for 26 fantasy points. Again, pretty good point per minute guy. So those 2 bigs look pretty good. Austin Reeves, I mean, he's probably going to play mid-20s minutes. He's scoring dependent, but he's also very, very cheap. Stanley Johnson, went from basically out of the rotation to playing 30 minutes. Obviously, he's just out there for his defense, but also at close to mid-price salary. Sure, Avery Bradley, kind of the same thing, had a decent game tonight, but we know he has a super low floor. So, if both THTML are out, you got to consider some of these guys just because they're going to play some decent minutes. And finally, the Washington Wizards. So keep Brian Porzingis news. He played 29 minutes tonight. Not sure if he plays in the back-to-back. We will see. If he does play and there's no limitations, I would assume we get close to 30 minutes because he played 29 minutes tonight. So we'll like him if there's no limitations. If he misses, then I would assume it's Daniel Gafford that picks up the start, and he would look really, really good at 3-9. Kuzma, in a revenge game narrative, will get a pretty significant usage bump. He would look great. If Porzingis plays, he's kind of just a solid option. And then, the guards, you're kind of seeing it split between like Ish Smith and Raul Neto. Satoransky will play from time to time as well. So it's just such a gross point guard rotation. I guess if I had to pick one of those guards, it would be Neto, but it does not feel good at all. Corey Kispert, he's playing huge minutes. He's not doing a lot with the minutes, but he's sub 4K, so sure, he's also a fair value play. Rui Hachimura at 3.6 should play low 20s minutes. I think that's fine. If Porzingis is out, I think he would play a little bit more. Kind of same with Denny, who, mid-20s minutes last few games, was awful tonight. But if there's no Porzingis, like both him, Denny, and Rui probably get a pretty solid minutes bump there. And then if there's no Porzingis, maybe Thomas Bryant enters the rotation and plays the backup 5 to Gafford. So he could be a potential value as well. But yeah, guys, kind of an ugly 3-game slate, but that's going to wrap it up for the video. So really appreciate all you guys' support, everyone checking out the videos every single day. Can't thank you guys enough, but I will see you. Have a great rest of your night, and I will see you all in the next video.